Speaking of,
other than that,
I'm
may I
seeing
present
a
my take
pattern
on an
that
ultimate
I'll tell you
feedback
guys
that
about at
I
the end of
dub
this.
Power.
Hello and welcome to this episode of WN Stuff. I'm your host, WN. This is our variety channel. Today, we are reacting to the Inktank, one of our favorite YouTube channels on this channel over here. It's one of o.r.ash's videos, giving legacy aliens ultimate forms. This is one of the drawing matrix videos, which is super sick because aliens get ultimate forms, they get rehauled. We get to see sometimes multiple variations of different forms. Before we get into it, in case you haven't watched one of these before, I happen to have the description open, and it says rules. Number 1, color palette must change. All official ultimates have a different color scheme than their base form. And then 2, trade-off. The ultimate must gain a new ability and lose something in order to get it. And then in brackets, it says previous power or physical feature. So we absolutely love seeing what o.r.ash cooks up over here. We love his art. I am an artist as well.
Went to fight now, specking lights all around. And the distance now, I am inbound. What's this all about? I just want to find peace of mind. I don't want to lose peace of mind. If
you will, please go check out my music. That would be sick. Also, I've been doing some pretty nerdy things at cosplay conventions as the Cosplay Repair Dad, if you want to see that as well, if that's something you might be into. And now, without further ado, let's get into this review. Reaction. 3, 2, 1. The Drawing Matrix with o.r.ash.
Good evening, Internet World and
Good
Universe.
evening.
This is o.r.ash, and welcome back to the Drawing Matrix. We are back once again to continue our Ultimates Overhauled series.
Woo!
Now that we've polished off the first 3 full playlists of Ben's arsenal, we continue down the road of the UAF era with a batch of aliens we label as the Legacy Batch. In this batch, these are aliens that have notably unique debuts and attributes.
Okay.
Today, we will be covering not only the Alien Force add-ons, being Lodestar, Rath, and Nanomec, but we'll also be poking into Omniverse early again and taking a peek at Squatch and Feedback. Now,
Feedback.
I'm caffeinated, so let's begin.
I suppose I should be caffeinated as well.
Starting off today, we have the mini mechanical
I like
bitty
squirt
boy,
bottle.
Nanomec. Nanomec was the only alien,
not counting Ben Man,
to have his debut outside of the animated medium of the franchise, premiering in the live-action movie Alien Swarm. He's also extremely unique because he's the first ever species created by the Omnitrix itself, as a hybridization of Ben's human DNA and the unknown artificially created nanochips. For an ultimate nanochip itself, I always imagined that its abilities would be similar to Elena's in Ultimate Alien. You know, the swarm generation, mimicry, tech fuckery, all that stuff. But because Nanomec has that little bit of human in him, it gives me a bit of a different direction to take him in. For my ultimate Nanomec, I want him to be a stronger bridge between biological and technological. Because he has those organic bits and their ability to naturally heal, and the robo bits that work harder, better, faster, and stronger. I imagine him as a
literally
sort of
just thinking of that
cyborg healer.
as soon as he
For
said
his
it.
main new abilities, I want to give him biotech alteration and enhancement, meaning that he can heal almost any physical injury or ailment by attacking it with little repair nanochips that his body creates. Because of the more organic nature of these chips, they would be able to adapt and mimic their host's DNA and leave them looking like there was never any injury to begin with. Combining this with his own swarm generation, Ultimate Nanomec, like Elena, would be able to create mimic constructs of living things. But his are a bit more unique in the sense that they are perfect living copies, right down to the DNA. Also, just for fun, they can still shapeshift and make tiny tech improvements to their hosts. If Ultimate Nanomec made Manny a brand new hand, it would look and feel completely real, just like his old one. But Manny could still like shapeshift it into like a gun or something. That'd be pretty cool, right? So, to recap, for his new abilities, he now has biotech alteration and enhancement, and he can create bioswarm mimics. As for his trade-offs, I'm getting rid of his bioelectricity attacks. This ultimate is a healer, not a DPS. Other than that, may I present my take on an ultimate Nanomec that I dub Botfly. Ultimate Nanomec.
Botfly.
You wanna fight? You wanna fight?
Most notably, Rath is known to be the first transformation to influence Ben's personality at a drastic level. Now, there is an already existing Ultimate Rath from Omniverse, but comparatively, you can kind of just chalk him up to being a reskin. He gains a couple new claws and adapts a new Kraven the Hunter aesthetic, but nothing else really changes on him. Is the Penuncian vest supposed to be part of his body? For my take on his ultimate,
but I was going to say that I think the vest looks cool, though.
Aesthetic. Being partially based on former pro wrestler Hulk Hogan, I thought it would be fitting for the wrestling aesthetic to push his extreme personality even further into the ring by making him based on that kind of pompous, stuck in their glory days, washed up type of wrestler. Like, this dude is just
I got you for 3 minutes.
Rath is known to be pretty much indestructible. The dude did free fall thousands of feet out of a ship just to get up and yell at the crater that his face made. So I believe that in the UES, that's what I'm calling it from now on, that with no real physical threats to him, that he probably would have just thrived and had fun kicking ultimate asses. For his design, I based it primarily more on heavy-set wrestlers and weightlifters that have that kind of, rotund, strong paunch. These dudes are stacked. This is to show that Ultimate Rath,
some people
despite his
around.
immense physical prowess, is probably a bit gluttonous and has a bit of a belly. As for his abilities, because he thrives, I don't really think he would change that much, because he doesn't have to adapt to anything. So I'm just giving him one new add-on ability,
all that time
and that
on the road,
retractable harpoon-like claws, meaning that he can now launch his wrist claws at enemies and pull them back to himself with
that's pretty sick.
Tail-like tethers. The rope's made of flesh. I don't know, man. This, of course, is meant to reference the signature ability of Scorpion
Get over
from
here.
Mortal Kombat. I'm also going to be adding 4 more of these harpoon claws onto his back, giving him a wider range of attack, and because I imagine him launching himself with them as a visual nod to wrestlers on the ropes of a ring.
Sick.
So,
nice.
to recap, as far as his new abilities, he now has retractable harpoon claws on his wrists and lower back, and because I want to nix his one weakness of needing to breathe, his body now operates at a much lower amount of oxygen. As far as his
time at
trade-offs,
high
because
elevations,
his body
huh,
now
Rath?
operates on less oxygen, there is less getting to his brain, resulting in less coherent thought and fits of uncontrolled rage. Other than that, may I present my take on an Ultimate Rath that I dub Hostel Gato.
Ooh, cool name.
Ultimate Rath.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
Makes me more than a match for you.
Next up, we have what should be Ben's most attractive alien in the arsenal. Lodestar was unlocked and teased in Alien Force Season 2's finale, but not actually revealed until 7 months later, 5 episodes into Season 3. Lodestar was notably the first brand new alien added onto the Alien Force playlist, but his addition felt more like an afterthought, overshadowed by the return of a handful of Ben's classics.
Well,
However,
nostalgia
he
is a powerful
the first
thing.
alien to appear in the whole of Omniverse. I struggled for a while to solidify his concept. At first being more like a stone Rubik's Cube man, and then essentially just a magnetic version of Goop, I ended up settling on something a bit more abstract. For his abilities, we are pushing the magnets to the extreme and giving him ferrofluid generation. With this, he can produce globby blobs of dark magnetic goo that he can shift between solid
I've seen that
and
stuff in
liquid
like a
states,
speaker I
used
really
not
wanted.
only for attacks or subduing
I didn't need
foes,
it,
but
I
if
wanted
an individual comes in physical contact with too much ferrofluid, it can be corrosive and be used to even change the individual polarity of the person and make them susceptible to Lodestar's magnetic grip. Lodestar, originally being made of these weird magnetic pillar stones, made me want to lean him into the realm of like a biblically accurate structure thing. I don't know, just something abstract and weird.
I'm with you.
I actually ended up coming up with 2 designs, and I couldn't pick between them. So now we have one that is more bipedal, that I refer to as Titan, and the other is kind of a dreidel made of crab claws that I refer to as Obelisk. They have the same abilities and are both inspired by the cool, colorful states that ferrofluid
see which one I like more.
To recap, for his new abilities, he can now produce density shifting ferrofluid, he can shift the individual polarity of a person to magnetize them, and And I imagine that he now has full control of his weird pillar structure body, so he can now shift that around a bit to like twist and dodge attacks and twist into weird shapes. As far as his trade-offs, I am very simply getting rid of his mouth. His head is already disconnected from his body, so
Mouth
he can't eat
gone.
anyway. I don't know why Omniverse gave him a mouth. Other than that, may I present 2 designs for my take on an ultimate Lodestar that I dub Farewell,
get 2, 'cause we're
Titan
greedy.
and Obelisk. Ultimate Lodestar.
I think I like Obelisk, the crab one, a little bit more.
Next up, we have the big-footed conductive Canadian, Squatch. Now,
Squatch.
many may chalk the Squatch up to just being yet another peanut in Ben's Electric Alien Gallery, but first debuting in the Heroes United crossover special, he is the first and only known alien to be unlocked outside of Ben's dimension. But we wouldn't actually get to see much of him until the show and art transition over to Omniverse. Now, for my ultimate Squatch, the one I ended up settling on was the Monkey King. No, not that one.
Not that one?
The Sun Wukong Monkey King.
More historical.
Mainly drawing from his ability to summon and ride on clouds, I thought pairing that with our Yeti
like a
electricity
Nimbus.
would be perfect, making for a lightning storm theme while keeping the monkey business. So the main new ability for this ultimate is that he can now use his electricity to condense the electrons in the air around him, creating storm clouds. And he can send them off independently, or he can condense them in so much so that he's able to carry himself up on it.
That's
and
so
fly
awesome.
around like he's on a Nimbus. For an
Nimbus.
additional ability that I thought would just be fun,
Told
his
you.
horns are now so large that he can pick up radio signals with them. With this ability, he can listen in and interfere with signals, or even
That's
broadcast
cool.
his own voice out to the airwaves. He can also harness and channel them into a large screeching burst for attacking.
That is not what I was
to
expecting
recap,
to come
for
out of
his new
Stitch's
abilities,
mouth.
He can now generate and ride on lightning storm clouds, and he is able to harness and influence radio signals with his elongated horns. As for his trade-offs, because of his new stature, his physical strength is actually limited mainly to his legs. His arms just ain't as good as they used to be. Other than that, may I present my take on an ultimate Squatch that I dub Storm Trekker.
Ooh, I like that a lot. Squatch.
Why do you like feedback so much anyway?
Because he's awesome and cool.
Last up on the plate today, we have the Static Sucker Full
Feedback.
Swagger Feedback. Being a retcon that no one complains about, Feedback was dropped retroactively into the beginnings of Ben's tween years and finally gave us an answer as to why he took the watch off in the first place. A very traumatic answer. But from the moment he
Trauma.
debuted, Feedback has been a kick-ass powerhouse that people adore. Now, when I call him a powerhouse, I mean it. He is the one
means
and
that.
only OP alien that I actually really like.
All right, get lost earlier, you fired. Yeah. Except you stay.
I wanted to lean into
That was a
his
fun
cable
edit.
cord aesthetic. So I changed the upper half of his body to be composed of more of those plug tendrils that he usually has coming out of his head. He could untangle them to cover a wider range and reach. At the ends of these tendrils are sharp clamps resembling jumper cables. He uses these for close combat in the times that he can't find energy to pick up. All along
nice.
his body, his metallic nodes have now turned
So is this
into
like good
brace-like cuffs
cable
that
management?
he can electromagnetically keep stuck together or dispense to subdue enemies with. And to solve his forced output problem, he now is able to store excess energy into various sized battery packs built off of his hip nodes. He can use these hip nodes to simply store the
Storage,
energy, or he
explosive,
can even
battery,
break them
EMP.
off and throw them like grenades, use them as batteries, or even reverse polarity on them to create an EMP effect.
super
and
sick.
because I want to add just a little extra something for fun, he can now perform a move that I call Blackout Blitz, where
Blackout
for a very
Blitz.
brief moment,
It's fun to
he
say.
can mass absorb all the light particle photons in an area, creating a temporary blind spot of darkness.
That's
Anyway,
crazy.
to recap, as far as his new abilities,
I was
he now
born in
has
the darkness,
prehensile
molded by
wireframing,
it.
he has sharp metallic maws, electromagnetic cuff generation, storage EMP and bomb batteries, and a new move that I call Blackout Blitz. As far as his trade-offs, I am simply getting rid of his tail. This boy is OP,
Just got rid of his tail?
and he is staying that
Speaking
way.
of,
Other than that, may I
I'm
present
seeing
my
a
take on
pattern
an ultimate
that I'll tell you
feedback
guys
that
about
I
at the end of
dub
this.
Powerline.
Power line.
Ultimate feedback.
Feedback.
And that is it! We are finally caught up to the point in the playlists where Ben actually has the Ultimatrix. And of course, coincidental franchise theming, the next episode where we start the actual ultimates of the Ultimatrix will be episode number 10. People better start calling me Greg, because I gotta round up the Andromeda boys. If you'd like to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. It's only $1 a month, and you can get a bunch of exclusive sneak peeks and behind-the-scenes content on all our project productions.
Of goodies.
Like the 5 Years Later motion comic, our animated series and beyond, and a couple secret things we got cooking up in the back. Also, make sure to check out all of our other links below, like our Twitch, where you can hang with us while we work. We just started a new schedule there, check them out. And my socials, where I'll be posting the Albedo edits of these boys.
Albedos.
Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, I am o.r.ash, and I'm surviving. Are you?
I'm trying,
Peace.
I'm trying, man. It's tough out here. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. So the thing that I noticed that I said I was going to mention at the end of the video was that pretty much everybody kept their legs, man. The shirt that I really want that has like the bucket, you know, with a bunch of legs that o.r.ash says, get right here, get out of here, we don't need these legs. Pretty much everybody. The only questionable one, I guess, is like the crab one, but they're still legs. So everybody got to keep their legs. Someone did lose their tail. As far as my favorite alien, I think that my favorite alien was probably, it's between Shock Squatch and Feedback. Oh, it's so close. I'll probably have to give it to Shock Squatch because I really like both the ideas of the additional powers and stuff that the aliens had, but just the fact everything that Shock Squatch can do with those horns and stuff, picking up radio signals and like the connection with like waves and flying on the Nimbus just appeals to me personally. But which one was your favorite? If you like that or any of this, please leave a like. If you dislike that or any of this, I mean, I disagree if you dislike that. If you dislike me, that's fine. I respect your opinion. That's cool. Be sure to leave a dislike. But until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. It's so bittersweet when watching these videos because you're like, wow, I get to watch the Inktank, o.r.ash, another sick video about Ben 10. But then it's over, and we have to wait until the next one, which is sad. But I do appreciate the comments that you guys leave, letting me know on some of my other videos whenever it drops, because I don't always see it initially, and I want to get to watch it and react to it as soon as possible. So I just wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate you very much. So I know I already said it once, but I'm going to say it again. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I can't wait to see you guys again.
No point to fight now, specking lights all around. At the distance now, I am inbound. What's this all about? I just want to find peace of mind. I don't want to lose peace of mind.